Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations, where we've got the tiger on the run. He said that he saw the back of Alg's head from the door, which he couldn't possibly have done. So, from the entrance to Tribulations, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. Also, when did you get the matches? But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glenn Alg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was the real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Alg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright revealed the identity of this criminal to the court. Oh, that's easy. That guy. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is the king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright? Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Gatto. Just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't just see the victim. Oh, no, no, no. Certain girl brought him a Javasino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it, she very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Right, very conspicuously. Jeez. I wonder why they would go through the trouble of being performative about it. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison in the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha! Found your pen at last, Trite. It's in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenn Alg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright. I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenn Alg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? Do you mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who is this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Clearly Mia Fey. it was Armstrong. Oop, too far. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. He was making a big mistake. Do you know who Viola's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness, what have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? He's alright. I could do it with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm behind on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get to my meeting, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You've got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you've missed out one real important thing. That can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you hear? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ha! What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Tribulations between yourself and the victim? Okay. Yeah, I loaned Elle cash, about $100,000. That day, we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. That waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Now I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, he's got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. I've never heard these terms. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. Got that $500,000 just in time. So I have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Oh, that's easy. I just don't know how to get there. Alright. I loaned Elle cash about $100,000. Okay, there's really nothing to dispute there. It had hit his payback date, okay. So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. There's nothing. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. Okay, that stands to reason. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Quartz paper, okay. Wait, no, whoa, hold on. Because... Alright, where's the... He ended up with the MC Bomber, a computer virus made by Glenn Elg, potentially worth millions of dollars. So Tiger was meeting Glenn Elg to get his money back. If If Mr. Alg had just given him the lottery ticket, that would have been the end of it. Why would he give him the lottery ticket? That's like way more. Yeah, so what's the tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine this testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Alg? Oh! Okay, there's two different routes I can see going here. And why did he loan him the money in the first place when he knew he couldn't repay him? So, I think he did it specifically to get the virus. Because the virus would be worth more than the money that he was loaning. Loaned out cash about 100,000. Wait, I thought it was 50. Right? Didn't he just say it was 50 and then so the loan was 50, but with interest it was 100. Does that matter though? That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date. Okay. He tells me he's got no way to pay up. But he brought MC Bomber with him. So that doesn't seem right. I don't think we're there yet, though. I think there's another step. So there's that route. About to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. $500,000. He got lucky. Oh! No, it wouldn't have been over. He didn't want the money. Everything would have been... No, it wouldn't. Okay, so this is the... How do I get to that point, though? He wanted MC Bomber more than he wanted the $100,000. Because that $100,000 wasn't going to help him. There we go. Got this. So him... If he hadn't won that... So actually, him winning that money is what killed him. But how do I get that out? There's like no evidence to present though. But this is it. That's... I think I can safely press this because that waitress hadn't done what she'd done. Everything would have been over. That's just not true. Well, I mean it is, but it's incomplete. But I also think I could press the statement about not having any way to pay, because he did have a way to pay, just not with money. Alright, I'm gonna press this. The waitress, you mean the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing, bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. Oh. Ask how things would have been, or ask... Oh, I don't know. Yeah, ask what did Maggie do? What exactly are you implying the defendant did? How would you go ask Four Eyes about that $1 million ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Alex's coffee. A likely theory, your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. T-Gray. Let's not forget this witness was actually at the scene, trite. Well, that doesn't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I see. Your Honor. Oh. The witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. I concur, Mr. Gateau. You will amend your testimony accordingly, witness. So that's what you's after, Phoenix, right? So what she did with that kid. My business with that kid was over. So Tiger was meeting Glenn Alg to get his money back. If Mr. Alg had just given him the lottery ticket, that would have been the end of it. He wanted MC Bomber more than the lottery ticket, though. So what's the Tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine this testimony, it's all over for us. I gotta get MC Bomber into this somehow. Why would he have to poison Mr. Alg? Because he didn't... And why did he loan him the money in the first place when he knew he couldn't repay him? Specifically because he knew Alg wouldn't be able to repay him. And he would get the virus. How do I get this into, like, words? $100,000. That day, he was due to have a little chat. He's got no way to pay up. I don't have anything to dispute that. I wonder, can I press... Thanks to what she did... Can I press this and try the other? Tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? There what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my $100,000 back, that's all. Businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended? Have it amended. I want to ask that other question. I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended. Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. I was after the $100,000. I didn't have no other reason to kill a guy. Aha! This is what I want. This is it. You absolutely did. And I got you now. Oop, I almost hit the button on the wrong. On like his autopsy report. Ooh, that would have been bad. Potentially worth millions of dollars. You wanted that. And go. So you just intended to get the back the $100,000 Mr. Alg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Alg, I don't believe the $100,000 is what you were really after. What are you getting at, Wright? What else would a moneylender be after other than money? Oh, the moneylender was after the money, but money in a totally different league. The kind of money that a single disc like this would fetch. Uh-oh. What is that? A computer virus, Your Honor. A virus called MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. The computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard is the only part of His Honor that is from the Stone Age. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important part. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Several $1 million? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glenn Alg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Glenn Alg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Alg put up in order to borrow the money. Objection! You're trying to suggest the witness's motive was to get a hold of that program? Exactly. The witness may have a poor fashion sense, but he is by no means an idiot, Wright. A man like him could get his hands on $1 million without resorting to murder. Of course he could, provided that he had time. What if he had needed the money right then? When the pressure's on, the luxury of choice tends to disappear. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? Yes. Why did Mr. Tigre need the money to the tune of $1 million? Oh. Well, they said $1 million specifically. I'm gonna go with this. In December of last year, you found yourself in need of a huge amount of money. About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. How much do you know? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. And yet, when the payment was due last month, you somehow managed to pay it in full. $1 million is a preposterous sum. Someone should sue these HMOs. Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Oh yeah. Order! You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did, simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in the city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Bruto Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glenn Alg's life to pay your debt. Holds up. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glenn Alg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win. Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Alg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glenn Alg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glenn Alg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Shrek, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been in the dark about it. Didn't need to be. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Got him. You's put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something that crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. Ew, what? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in and try... What was this trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? They put... Oh boy. This is gonna hurt if I'm wrong. They put the ticket in there. They put the poison in there. Oh! Oh! Yeah, that has to be it, right? The last trick was pretending to be the lawyer and getting her convicted. Alright, just looking, because this is gonna really hurt if I'm wrong. Okay, that's gotta be it. Oh. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Oh, Judge. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you standing in here, this very court, a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I had ever seen.
Objection!
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove that the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that, not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trey, here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Gateau is right, Your Honor. Speaking for myself, I'm absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say you impersonated Glenn Alec, you say he impersonated you, but none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get mauled. You's got that? I managed to tune here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tigre. Your Honor. Oh! Wait. Detective! Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this, too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? What? Oh, are we taking another break? Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal, from this medicine bottle. Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to now? You think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal all over the bottle. The Furio Tigre's paw prints, alright. That's great, we've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know, look, I'm sorry. It's kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenn Elg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, it really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great, no matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to out Maggie, and I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright, I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe? Wait. He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard on that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Hard and Furio's fingerprints. Okay. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Try. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time he's gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before. But you lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. I think I have to present the bottle. Alright, we'll just go on for a couple more minutes and then we'll... This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware that the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tigre. What? But Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. Oh! My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle. Is that what you're saying? What the hell's in it anyway? Oh, we have a phony trial, phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tigre, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... So we're gonna lie. Right? This one doesn't look like it's gonna hurt his back. I think that's the point. We're gonna lie. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? Poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tigre, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You'd make a good clown, you'd know that. Ah, crap. What? You ain't never gonna get that statistic. You's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix, right? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. Oh no, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. Ha! Got him! And it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash. Don't look nothing like it. Oops. Got him. Got him at last. What? Was everyone gone quiet? Said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. Lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. You just don't know who's you's messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with the phony lawyer is all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. That's not how I thought that was gonna go. Like when it had us do the phony evidence, I thought that was going to be different. Ooh, what's going on? Looks like a blackout. Well done, Wright. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tigre Godot? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Hero Tigre is truly a frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I'm now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant Maggie Bird. Nailed it. Whew. That is all. This court is adjourned. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I guess see you later. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even of any use. But only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all this. I wanted to believe that, sir. On the first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. I know what this is. That's why we still have this. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? I'll say. Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. Yay, everything worked out. So the case of the false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Alright, end of episode 3. Is there one more or 2 more? 2 more! Edgeworth! What is it? There's a bridge and a hostage situation. Holy crap, what is about to happen? I'm so excited. Alright. We'll just have to see what that's all about in the next episode. I'm so excited Edgeworth is back. He took his time getting here. Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you all enjoyed that case. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.